Good evening. My name is Aldous Mina or Al. I am a survivor of institutional racism, workplace discrimination, and I have experienced violations of my human and civil rights under a Democratic-led administration while working for the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development at the Washington, D.C. field office during the whole year of my employment. This message calls for the Democratic National Committee to pay reparations defined as the making of amends for a wrong done by providing financial compensation to those who have been wronged as a civil servant in the US government. This systematic issue affected my livelihood and well-being without the restitution I deserve from the party that I believe would represent and protect marginalized communities. Reparations are not a new concept. Courts often required convicted offenders to make financial reparations to their victims. This same principle should apply here. It is essential for the Democrat Party to acknowledge the shortcomings of its party administration and take responsibility for the injustices perpetuated. By doing so, they can begin to restore trust and heal the wounds inflicted on individuals like myself who were let down by the system as a US civilian employee serving after my tour in the US Peace Corps. Research indicates that victims of discrimination face long-term financial and psychological damage. According to a study conducted by the American Psychological Association, exposure to racial discrimination can lead to severe health consequences, including anxiety and depression. Economically, discrimination has been shown to significantly reduce income potential and professional development opportunities, resulting in financial instability. It's time for the Democrat Party to lead by example and pave the way for real solutions that address historical and institutional injustices. By committing to compensate those affected, the party would not only rectify past wrongs, but would also set a precedent for accountability and justice. This is crucial. This is a crucial step towards fostering an inclusive and equitable society, one where victims of discrimination are acknowledged and supported. Please join me in urging the Democratic Party to take responsibility for its past actions. Your support and donations towards our next public office run can help to bring much needed attention to this serious issue and push for the reparations that are rightfully owed. Support our mission and demand justice and equality for all who have suffered under institutional racism, workplace discrimination, and whose civil rights and human rights were violated while serving in the US government. Reparations defined as making of amends for an illegal and unethical wrong done to a person due to race, national origin, color, sex, religion, and others more. By paying money to or otherwise helping those who have been wronged, who can prove their case, the courts require a convicted institution to make financial reparation to their victims. I've personally trudged through the unbearable consequences of institutional racism. Not only were my human rights and civil rights violated, but the very fabric of my dignity was torn apart. Acknowledging this is not just about me, it is about the thousands who have been victimized by a systematic discrimination and the historical negligence of our basic rights. Reparations are not just a financial gesture. They are critical in acknowledging past wrongs and paving paths towards healing. They address deeply seated inequality, enabling those affected to rebuild their lives with the dignity and respect they deserve. Recognizing the urgent need for reparations, we urge our government and relevant institutions such as the DNC to establish robust mechanisms aimed at compensating victims of human rights violations, workplace discrimination, and institutional racism while serving in the US government. This includes setting up dedicated commissions to investigate claims, ensuring transparency and accountability, and providing victims with financial support. and resources for counseling and rehabilitation, as well as lost wages. Action is needed now. We cannot change the past, but together we can build a future where equality, justice, and dignity prevail. Please join me in demanding reparations for all victims of human rights violations while serving in the federal government. Victims have a right to reparation. This refers to measures to redress violations of human rights by providing a range of material and symbolic benefits to victims or their families, as well as affected communities. Reparation must be adequate, effective, prompt, and should be proportional to the gravity of the violation and the harm suffered. The High Commissioner, on the occasion of the 15th anniversary of the Basic Principles and Guidelines on the Right to Remedy and Reparation for Victims of Gross Violations of International Human Rights Law and Serious Violation of international humanitarian law, highlighted the catalytic power that genuine remedy and reparations can have on the daily life of victims, families, communities, and entire societies. Reparation must include restitution, which should restore the victim to their original situation before the violation occurred, restoration of liberty, reinstatement of employment, return of property, return to one's place of residence, etc. Compensation, which should be provided for any economically accessible damage, loss of earnings, loss of property, loss of economic opportunities, moral damages. Rehabilitation, which should include medical and psychological care, legal and social services. Satisfaction, which should include the cessation of continuing violations, truth-seeking, recovery, public apologies, judicial and administrative sanctions, memorials and commemoration, etc. Read the facts of our case at the bottom section of this description. My name again is Aldous, or Al, Mina, and I am a survivor of institutional racism, workplace discrimination, violation of my human and civil rights while serving in the U.S. government. Thank you for your time.